must vet the award of contracts of all federal government ministries, departments, and agencies, MIDAS, to this extent that our emergency transparency NGOs could not fault the NEDC leadership for bypassing the contract processes. They ought to have approached institutions that understand the processes to educate them. Furthermore, there's 4 years old. The implication of this is that there is no project or contract awarded that is more than 4 years old. We are also aware that because of the paucity of funds, government projects are implemented in phases, spanning upward of 3 years with budgetary provisions made for such projects in installments. Sometimes there are years when there will be no budgetary provisions for an ongoing project, which will then be temporarily suspended and then resumed in subsequent years when funds are provided. The list of so-called abandoned projects of NEDC drawn up by Patai and ITA therefore reeks of ignorance and is totally laughable. To date, NEDC stands out as one of the most transparent agencies in the country, and we are tempted to rate it as the most transparent in the country until such a time that someone is able to bring up empirical evidence to prove that another agency has surpassed that record. Concerns. We are concerned that Patai and ITA are acting out as insidious scripts with worrisome consequences. At the very least, we see these two organizations as being driven by hunger that has made their coordinators insensitive to the dangers of plying their blackmail in a commission that is strategic to long-term peace in the terrorism-impacted Northeast geopolitical zone. But we think the attempt of discrediting the leadership of NEDC was not born out of stupidity. Rather, we see Patai and ITA as belonging to the NGO arm of Boko Haram, ISWAP, and their action is part of a larger plot to roll back the progress that has been made in reclaiming the Northeast from these terrorists. Apparently, their strategy is to distract the rebuilding efforts being piloted by the NEDC so that the resulting hopelessness will again drive disadvantaged youth into becoming available for recruitment by Boko Haram from ISWAP. We fervently hope that our intelligence community and law enforcement agencies will review this later angle with a view to asking the operators of Patai and ITA to prove that they are not on errands for Boko Haram through ISWAP. This is necessary to ensure that things do not fester badly before destructive platforms like this do are called to order. Conclusion. We urge the leadership of NEDC to disregard this criminal ultimatum handed in by Patai and ITA in order to focus on their mandate of returning the Northeast to the commercial powerhouse it was before terrorism disrupted lives there. However, while disregarding the ultimatum, the NEDC leadership should report the two organizations to law enforcement agencies to investigate their possible link to terrorism, because we fear that it is a matter of time before they begin to physically NEDC projects. We urge the relevant law enforcement agencies to take note and act in the interest of preserving Nigeria from rogue groups that masquerade as NGOs. Finally, while we advise the public to disregard these two organizations, we call on Patai and ITA to retrace their steps and stop their resort to blackmail.